Good morning, guys. Mike, aka Crypto Jules, gonna do our daily Bitcoin update. I didn't get to one yesterday. No big deal. Not a whole lot had changed since the one I did the day before, but just kind of want to start on the higher time frame here real quick for those of you who are new to the channel to give you an idea of the overall context of where I think we are. Ultimately, I believe that we are in this 1, 2, 1, 2 working on our 3-wave and then a 4 and then a 5 to put in our larger degree 3-wave, which should take us to, possibly $70,000 or so, and then some sort of a consolidation for a 4-wave, and then a final 5th wave pop up to about 127 grand. That is currently what I'm targeting right now for the top of this cycle. Obviously, these price points are going to change as price unfolds. So this is just a rough guideline of what I expect and what I anticipate to happen. So that's the overall higher time frame. Now diving into the weeds a little bit here, there's a couple different things that we have working with. So my primary right now is that this is a 1, 2, and then we have a 3, and then an A, and then this is a flat structure, which looks like it might end up being a regular flat. So you've got this A, B, and then what looks to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 down for our ending diagonal. I've got that placed in the wrong spot. So I'm assuming right now at this point that this is gonna turn into a 5-wave structure down, and it is looking like it's an ending diagonal. It is possible that this thing completed in a WXY with the bottom being in here. However, it just does not currently look impulsive off of the low. So this structure as of right now looks more corrective than it does impulsive. We did have a leading diagonal on the minute chart here on this little cluster, but since then we just don't look unless this entire thing turns out to be one large leading diagonal. I'm just going to assume that what we have right now is this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more drop down for a 5. And then we would want to see an impulse off the low in order to pop back up for our 5th wave. Which I believe would put in our 1-wave top. So ultimately 1, 2, 3, A, B, C for our 4, and then one more pop, which would break back above the top of that high there. And then from there, that's when I would want to see our 2-wave correction and then an impulse off of the low. And then this, once we get this top, this will be our 2-wave of the heart of our 3. So once this 2-wave is in here, this price action should dramatically increase and should go pretty darn quick. As I've been talking about over the past several videos, in 3-wave structures, price pullbacks are few and far between, and they are shallower than you typically think, which leaves a lot of people on the sideline. So, usually we can anticipate 2 waves retracing 50 to 61.8% retracement, even sometimes all the way down to 78.6. In 3-wave structures, usually you get shallow pullbacks. So, even a 38.2% retracement or a 50% retracement might be the deepest we get. So it's important, if you are still sitting on the sidelines, to not sit there and always assume that it's going to get lower, because that's just not the way it works. So that is scenario number 1, and that's my primary, that we are on this 1, 2, 3, working on our 4 now, and then going to pop for our 5th wave. That 4-wave support ultimately is from 28,700 to about 30,162. Typical 4 waves retrace 38.2%, which is sitting right at about 29,300 or so. So ultimately, I'm thinking that our 5-wave does end up coming down and getting close to this zone here, 29,400 or so. And then from there, we pop back up to our fifth. If we lose four-wave support, so if this 50% retracement level here ends up losing and we sustain below that, then I will assume that this is not a high B and that is just the top of our one wave. And we are looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we would be working on probably a leading diagonal down for an A, and then you would have a B and then a C wave drop. In this zone here is our current support for our two wave if we do end up falling into our two wave and break that four wave support. So, you know, if we do break about 28,700 or so, you know, and sustain below it, not just wick and then explode back below it or explode above it, I'm talking about sustain below it, then I would assume that we are in wave two, and our support for wave two is really anywhere from 26,100, which is the 78.6% retracement level, all the way up to 27,935. So again, as I just said, usually two-wave pullbacks are shallow in three waves. So this could not get that deep. You know, I would assume that it would be a shallower two-wave, which, you know, typically would be around 50% to 38.2% retracement level. So that's ultimately where I think we are with Bitcoin right now. But my primary is that we are in our four wave. And we have one more pop before we get our fifth in and then our correction down. But we just have to play it by ear, see what happens, and play level by level. So we'll see y'all later.